China Currents is a weekly news talk show from China to the world. We cover viral news about China every week and also give you the newest updates on China's cutting-edge technologies. Let's get started. Welcome to China Currents, your weekly news report on the latest developments in China. I'm Chris, and in this episode, Western tech giants come to China. Chinese Foreign Minister visits Japan. China's breakthrough in brain-computer interface technology. First, let's move to Beijing. The 2025 China Development Forum was held in Beijing from March 24th to 25th. As a platform for direct dialogue between Chinese leaders and multinational corporations, international organizations, and foreign scholars, the forum outlines China's annual development priorities, making it one of the most closely watched events by global investors. This year's forum attracted 750 foreign delegates, including 86 executives from multinational companies across 21 countries. Among them were tech and semiconductor giants from the US and Europe, including CEOs from Apple, Siemens, Samsung, Qualcomm, and SK Hynix. John Neuffer, president of the US Semiconductor Industry Association, also attended. Ironically, Bloomberg recently revealed that Trump's administration is sketching out tougher versions of US semiconductor curbs and pressuring key allies to escalate their restrictions on China's chip industry. Why do Western tech giants still turn to China? A key breakthrough in China that can resolve critical challenges in AI and chip development may tell the truth. The AI industry's relentless pursuit of higher computing power and advanced chips has hit a roadblock: overheating. As transistors and chips become increasingly dense, heat dissipation has emerged as a bottleneck. In November 2024, Reuters reports revealed overheating issues in NVIDIA's Blackwell AI chips and server racks. By January 2025, unresolved thermal problems, causing reduced computing power and melted interfaces, forced Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta to slash orders for new chips and revert to older models. The information reveals that NVIDIA reportedly pushed suppliers to redesign components, but solutions remain elusive. Silicon-based materials, it seems, have reached their thermal limits. Unfortunately, China's synthetic diamonds can help. Diamond's thermal conductivity is 13 times that of silicon and 4 times that of silicon carbide. Chips made with diamond substrates could drastically lower operating temperatures. A report by China's Kaiwan Securities estimates that diamond cooling technology could save data centers millions in cooling costs annually. Though the diamond thermal solutions market is currently valued at just $20 million, it is projected to soar to $15.2 billion by 2030. Western firms are taking note. US startup Akash Systems, for instance, developed a diamond-cooled GPU technology, securing $18.2 million in federal grants and $50 million in tax breaks. Yet, considering China produces 70% of the world's synthetic diamonds, most of these funds may ultimately flow to Chinese companies. Beyond raw materials, China also holds key patents for diamond chips manufacturing. Previously, diamond films were either too small, too rough, or too expensive for mass production. But in December 2024, researchers from Peking University, Southern University of Science and Technology, and the University of Hong Kong unveiled a breakthrough method to produce large, ultra-thin, and ultra-smooth diamond films at a reasonable cost. Published in Nature, this innovation paves the way for industrial-scale diamond chip production. China is also spearheading other next-generation semiconductor technologies. In March 2025, Hangzhou Jiaren Semiconductor launched the world's first 8-inch gallium oxide wafer. While the US poured resources into computing power hegemony, China's focus on practical applications has driven its rise. Chinese strategist Professor Wang Xiangsui notes that US tech development is capital and AI hype-driven, with over half of its wealth funneled into 7 tech giants like NVIDIA and Microsoft. This obsession with computing power has neglected real-world applications and diversified semiconductor use cases. In contrast, China's tech sector prioritizes solving tangible challenges. Its advancements in aerospace, electric vehicles, and 5G networks have created diverse demands for chips. For example, Huawei began developing diamond chips technology in 2023 to address heat dissipation in 5G base stations and low-orbit satellites. filing patents with Harbin Institute of Technology. Though Chinese tech firms lag behind US giants in market value, their demand-driven model, emphasizing affordability, energy efficiency, and practicality, offers lessons for global players. That's why in 2025, Beijing has become a classroom for the world's tech elites. Next up, hello Tokyo. On March 22nd, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with Japanese counterpart in Tokyo during the 6th China-Japan High-Level Economic Dialogue. The meeting marked Wang's first visit to Japan in 4.5 years. The two sides reached a consensus on 20 key issues, expanding collaboration beyond traditional economic ties to prioritize marine environmental protection, combat marine debris, and strengthen monitoring mechanisms for nuclear wastewater. On March 12th, Tokyo Electric Power Company released a new round of 7,800 tons of nuclear contaminated water into the Pacific Ocean. Since August 2023, the total amount has reached 85,800 tons. China has emphasized in the 20 consensus that there is no change in China's position of opposing the unilateral activation of a discharge by the Japanese side. The stance underscores Beijing's dual focus on safeguarding public health and addressing ecological risks to Pacific neighbors. Pacific Island Forum Secretary General Baron Waka said, "We have done our best to get Japan not to commence the discharge until there is full agreement that it is verifiably safe to do so. But Japan has taken a sovereign decision. What we need to focus on now is to hold Japan to account." China conducted independent sampling in October 2024. On January 23rd this year, the China Atomic Energy Agency announced the test results for the first time. The activity concentrations of tritium, cesium-137, and strontium-90 in the samples were normal. However, CAEA emphasized that the results only reflect the radiation level of a specific time and place. China will continue to carry out international monitoring and independent sampling to prevent the discharge of Fukushima nuclear contaminated water into the sea from causing irreversible consequences. Moving on, China is promoting public health in the most challenging field. On March 20th, a Chinese patient who can't speak due to amyotrophic lateral sclerosis regained the ability with the brain-computer interface's help. Assisted by a neurosurgical robotic system, Chinese Dr. Zhao Guoguang precisely implanted the device into the region of the brain responsible for language motor control. Although the patient is unable to speak physically, the brain still generates specific electrical signals when attempting to form words. The BCI system captures these signals and decodes them using advanced algorithms, effectively translating the patient's thoughts into spoken phrases. Remarkably, after just 3 hours of training, the patient was able to produce full sentences such as, "I want to drink water," and "I want to go for a walk with my family," through brain signals. Clinical data shows the single word decoding latency of under 100 milliseconds set the highest performance benchmark globally. The system called Beidou 1 was developed by the Chinese Institute of Brain Research and marks the world's first successful wireless, implantable BCI designed specifically for the Chinese language. Although this technology is just being introduced for clinical application, China's National Healthcare Security Administration established a market guidance price for treatment costs on March 12th, ensuring that this medical technology remains accessible and affordable for different income groups. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching this episode of China Currents. If you have any thoughts or comments, please leave it below. See you next time.